Hello, my creative friends, and welcome to another episode of The Daily Prompt, or should I say the final episode of The Daily Prompt, at least the final episode of this year. As we know, looking back over that big stretch of the summer months, it's hard for me to stay away because there's a lot to say. There's a lot that I want to teach and help you with and encourage you on. And so I'm not disappearing, but what I'm thinking is that as we get to the end of this year and we look back on the year that has passed, I think maybe I'm going to leave the daily prompt as a 2019 thing. Now, the reason for this is the end of the year is a completely arbitrary time to mark the calendar and sort of say, well, this is the end of one thing and the beginning of a new thing. And so, therefore, we can take stock in this moment of where have we been this past year and where are we going in the next year? It's arbitrary, but we still need markers in our lives. We still need sort of guideposts or signposts that we reach on our journey that can give us a sense of where we've been and where we're going. And so I really think today, here at the end of the year, it's time to take stock of where we've been. And if you have written a couple of drafts of your screenplay, if you've written several different screenplays, you've tried to maybe reach out, or sometimes you read back what you've written and it's not very good, or it doesn't land with your target, or you can't get anyone to read your script or take any of that. You don't feel like you've made progress over the past year. I would argue that that is in some ways the best kind of progress to make. When you reach for something, if you reach for something and you grab it at the first attempt, the very first time you reach out for it, that thing is very vulnerable because you won't necessarily know how you got it. You won't necessarily know how to keep it because you kind of fluked it. If instead you try and miss, then you see how you missed and you adapt. And you try again. And if you continue to miss, as long as you're continuing to evaluate where you've been, as long as you're assessing the failures is the wrong word. As long as you're assessing the misfires, the misalignments, as long as you're looking at what you've done to try to determine why it landed or didn't land, you will be learning. You know, we say this craft of screenwriting is complex. It's complex and it takes time to learn. When we say that it takes time to learn, what we're saying is that you need to fail a bit. You need to fail a lot so that you can really learn and understand and personalize and be able to intuit the lessons, the techniques, the skills within the craft itself. So, as I look back on the year that we've just been, I started this year on fire. I had this idea to build this show, to do a daily screenwriting prompt so that every single day you could come here, you could get some idea, some insight, some inspiration, go out and work on your own thing, continue to sort of move forward. I would give you all my ideas and my insights and all that stuff. And my thought was that as I did that, I would be inspiring people, and those people would want to reach out and help me take this to the next level, which, as I explained early in the series, is to build an independent film studio. This show, the idea for this show, is to be a behind-the-scenes production where I'm teaching you and inspiring you, doing that daily prompt as a behind-the-scenes on the films that we're making. The idea to have this backdrop in my office here was only supposed to last for a couple of months. So the fact that here I am at the end of the year in front of the same backdrop, pretty much tells you that the year didn't exactly go the way I had originally planned. Now, as I look back on the year, do I consider that to be a failure of a year? Well, success or failure is really a judgment. At the end of the day, when we feel like we've failed, what's happened is we have a dream or a goal or an ambition, and we imagine what that should look like, what that should be. And if we imagine what that should be, and then we assess ourselves now, and we see that we're very far from that, or we perceive that we haven't made any progress toward that, we're going to feel like we have failed. We're going to feel like it was a bad year. If we have that goal or that dream and we reach that, or we exceed that, we're going to feel like it was a great year, like this was a success of a year. So as I look back on the past year, I sort of see a little bit of both, because I am nowhere near what I set out to do at the beginning of the year. And if you've been following along, if you've watched everything in the series, you know there's a lot here we did not hit. However, I have probably learned more through doing this, through going down this road, through embracing full-throated the idea of teaching, presenting, pitching, giving you ideas, giving you help, giving you inspiration, and using that as the wave of momentum with which to build the indie film studio. I believe that this was a very successful year. We did not achieve any of the benchmarkers that I set out to achieve. Well, we achieved a couple of things that I haven't really talked about, but we haven't achieved the major things. We haven't achieved the sexy things. And so it would be very easy to look back at the year just gone by and think it was a failure of a year. And so I really want to share that with you, to give you that perspective as well, because I know this game. I know the screenwriting world. I know that you pour a lot of time and energy into the stuff. If you do, I know that you pour that time and energy into it, and you can get to the end of the year, or the end of a 5-year stretch, or the end of a project, or the end of, you've written 3 or 5, 10 scripts and not have that success yet. I know that can be dispiriting. I know that you can look back and say, I've wasted my time. This was not the right path. I'm going to go do something else with my life. And by the way, about 90% of writers do just that, which is why there's no competition around here. If you simply persist, if you simply look back on the past year and you think whatever you've done or haven't done, and you look back on it and you go, I see what's happened. I see where I've been. I'm in the process of developing these skills and this craft. I'm going to use what I've learned, and I'm going to pour all my energies into the year ahead. If you really do that, and you do that each year, and you do that after each project, and you do that after each disappointment or setback, what's going to happen is it is going to help push you forward with a momentum that goes beyond the momentum that you had already. It's so easy for us to get fired up with a great idea. I'm going to start writing a screenplay, and you sit down and you start blasting stuff out, and then once the reality of it starts to take shape, for that to fizzle away. And if you don't see results and you get dispirited along the way, man, that could just zap your energy and just suck the life right out of you. It's so important to realize that is part of the process. It's part of how you get there. As a creative person, as a person living life, you have to go through ups and downs. You have to go through trials and tribulations. You have to fail on your path to your success. Because if you don't, once you have that, it is going to slip right through your fingers because you don't know how you got it. If you fail and you have to adjust and you have to redo and you have to try and you have to push and you have to pull the stores of energy and plow into the new year again and again and again, what's happening is you are strengthening, you are fortifying, you are developing, and that development is what's going to make you the success you are destined to be. I really believe that the end of the year is completely arbitrary, but an absolutely ideal moment to take stock of where we are. Now, if you're watching this video and it's nowhere near the end of the year, some point in the future, it's very easy to go, oh, well, I'll save this for the new year. But we can do this at any point throughout the year. We can do this on any day. We can simply remind ourselves that we're in the middle of it. When you're in the middle of something, it's impossible to see it objectively. It's impossible to see the forest when you're walking through the trees. It's impossible. You can imagine the forest. You can keep the forest in your imagination, but it's impossible to see it. So do not move forward. Do not operate under the assumption that you see the forest. Understand that you're in the trees and keep moving forward. Keep pushing. Keep trying to make it happen. What I've more or less decided is that this is going to be the end of the road for the daily prompt. For now. I'm going to continue making videos. I'm going to continue teaching and helping and trying to inspire. I think what I've learned from this series is the off-the-cuff thing, as good as it feels for me in the moment, as nice as it is for the people who are willing to invest 10 minutes or 15 minutes or half an hour, or whatever the videos end up being, as much value as we can extract from that longer form, it's not really serving the bigger picture. So it's good for me as sort of a daily diary, as a way to capture this journey. But ultimately, I have my eyes on the prize. Over the past couple of weeks, I have encountered a few articles, which I will probably talk about in an upcoming video, however the new shape of that happens in the new year, but which has just galvanized and pinpoint sharpened my goal. I see the reality of my goal much more clearly than I did at the beginning of this journey. So what is the success? The success is that this journey helped me to see that. So I am closer to being able to achieve this thing by having done this. Was it a waste of time? Were there faster ways of getting there? I don't know, and I never will know, because as I was going through, I was in that moment. I was walking through the forest. I can look back and see the forest, but at the time, it was only trees. So what I'm going to do is put an end to the daily prompt. We will come back to a daily series, so be sure to stay subscribed to this channel and click that bell notification bell icon so you can get notified of new videos that come out, because they'll be a little bit more sporadic, at least in January. I'm probably not going to make much in January, and then as soon as I have the opportunity to, I'm probably going to do something a little bit of a different form to what I have done in the past, and anything else that's on this channel. I have some ideas for how to make some really sharp, really pointed, more like a library feature of you can pull something off the shelf and get that insight. That's kind of the goal for where I want to go from here with making videos for the YouTube channel, but we're definitely going to be doing it. There's definitely much more to come, and I truly, genuinely believe that the year ahead is going to be an extraordinary year. I really, truly believe that each year that goes by, we are further and further along. It is better and better. There's more and more opportunity available to writers, to creative people, to anyone who wants to pursue their true dream and vision. There is so much opportunity. It's crazy. I want so much for you to see it, and I want so much for you to try to implement it throughout the new year. I would love to have you join me. Obviously, Fast Screenplay is there to get you there. Whether you do or not, I want you to succeed. I want you to get there. So whatever you do, have a very, very happy new year. Make sure that the year ahead is pushing you towards where you're trying to go. Look back on the year that has just passed. Take the lessons from it. Extract the insights out of it. Feel free to revisit stuff in this series has a lot of stuff in it. Feel free to go back and check out more of it. It's evergreen. It's not going to change. But go back and look through your life, your past, and see what the lessons are. If you see it as a stop, as a signpost, as a guide along the path to your success, what is it telling you about how to push forward? Do you need to change directions? Do you need to double down? Do you need to go harder? Do you need to pull back a little bit and let it flow a little bit more? I don't know. It's going to be different for everyone, and it'll be different for everyone at different points. So it's important to look back, so that you can look forward. One of the things we do in Fast Screenplay is we record our experience. So every single step you do the step, you do the exercise, you go, wow, okay, cool. And then you sort of do a daily diary style and record your entry. Here are the insights that I had. Because later on, when you get to the end of the year, or the end of the phase, or the end of the system, you can look back and see what your journey was. If you actually see what your journey was, it will show you the path to your unique success, your outcome. But you have to record that experience. You have to look back, and you have to push forward. Thank you so much for watching me on this show. Thank you so much for being a part of the Daily Prompt experience itself. If you have any questions or comments, please pop them into the comments below. I am here for you. I'm going nowhere. It's all just going to change shape a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit of time off in January to focus on getting the other things done, because I don't want to split my focus anymore. And then I'm going to come back with some new videos. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're on all the social media stuff. And we will see you then. Until then, have a healthy, happy, safe new year. And we will see you in 2020.